is between blue-black zombies.
All right,
on the
Blue-Black
right.
Zombies being played by Brian Terwilliger. And he's battling against Dylan Fay, who is armed with green-red aggro.
A very straightforward...
A very green-red aggro deck.
Yeah.
He has Daybreak Ranger,
Yeah.
which actually seems insane right now in the format. You know how we've always, everybody's been like chomping at the bit, waiting for the moment Daybreak Ranger would be good. Everybody's been waiting for it.
Brian Kibler's 200 Daybreak Rangers.
Yeah, I have over 100 of them too. Like it's so good. There has to be a moment where that card is absurd. And I think everybody finally like forgot about it and stopped caring about it. And now is the actual time where like what decks beat Daybreak Ranger? Ramp beats Daybreak Ranger. Delver, it's good against Delver, but it's not the best thing ever against Delver.
Is it green on both sides, or is it green-red on the other side? I'm trying to think if you can Celestial Purge it.
It's green on both sides.
Okay. Well, so it probably just beats up on all the white decks.
Yeah,
every
pretty
single
hard.
one.
Even my main woman, Hero Bladehold,
does not survive a fight.
Does not survive a fight with that.
If she has a little honor, then she does.
It's true. She needs to have some honor, though.
Yeah.
And then, the green red aggro can just put a sword on Daybreak Ranger. And that's it. When I was first playing, when Innistrad first came out, and like before the format had really settled at all, I was playing with a lot of different decks that had Daybreak Ranger, and I can fondly remember having Nightfall Predator on the battlefield and equipping it with Sword of Feast and Famine and fighting Grave Titans and winning. My guy's protection from black.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. I like it.
But he has a bunch of swords. 3 swords in here. 2 Wolfear Silverhearts, 2 Hellriders, 2 Wolfear Avengers, a Thrun, 3 Huntmasters, 4 Birds, 4 Llanowars, 4 Strangleroot, the Daybreak Ranger, 2 Garruk Relentless, 3 Galvanic Blast, 2 Sword of War and Peace, 3 Pillar of Flame, 1 Sword of Feast and Famine, 4 Green Sun Zenith, 1 Acidic Slime.
Kind of interesting how top-heavy this is, and how sort of schizophrenic his 4 and 5 slots are. Like, he has a split on swords, he has a split on 5 drops, he has a 4-way split on 4 drops.
Yeah. Alright, so we're off. Brian Terwilliger, Brian leading things off with a Gravecrawler off of Darkslick Shores. Brian, if you watch this later, I apologize for having trouble pronouncing your last name. Dylan with a Strangleroot in there for 2.
Yeah. The battle of the 2-1s. Brian another lands in fronter. Paulo would be happy.
It's been happening more and more recently.
Yeah.
Lands in front.
Maybe they're finally feeling brave enough to come out from their rocks and caves and just start playing lands in front, like, unashamedly.
$18 all after an attack from Dylan Fay. 2-1s trading hits. Or 16 for Brian.
18, yeah. And Dylan just getting right up there with all of these ramp cards.
Yeah, and immediately threatening to put down some 5 drops in the very next turn.
And we have the Gravecrawler into Grolf's Messenger.
Pretty awesome. That's something interesting about Brian's deck. He doesn't have Cavern of Souls.
Huh.
Which is pretty surprising to me. I think like Cavern casting Grolf's Messenger is one of the things most attractive about zombies right now.
Yeah, the thing is, he has 4 Phantasmal Image, he has 2 Obliterators, 2 Fume Spitters, 3 Lilianas.
Oh, so yeah, he's a very different deck.
Verdict.
I didn't see the list. Yeah. Okay.
He has a lot of black heavy stuff, and he sideboards into Smitty would be proud. 3 Blood Artist and 3 Killing Wave. The kamikaze deck that Smitty wrote about on Star City Games on the select side, where you basically use Killing Wave as a way to bin your team and like basically shrapnel blast them using Blood Artist's triggers.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah. Not sure if we'll see that in this matchup.
Meanwhile, we have Phyrexian Obliterator coming down. That's going to put the brakes on just about any attack. That seems like a good card to match up against Wolfir Silverheart.
Yes, it is.
Interesting. Sacrifice 6 permanents, please.
So Dylan here is going to have to, I mean, another Wolfir Silverheart can make that bird bigger. Maybe he made a little bit of a mistake by pumping up the Stranglergeist instead of the bird.
Yeah, very possible.
That's, you know, it's something that I think people don't recognize enough is just how strong a 4/5 Bird of Paradise is.
Yeah. The whole flying thing, really underrated.
Really good right now.
You don't have to deal with the ground stalls of 6/6s battling 8/8s.
Yeah, now he could Green Sun for 5, get another Wolfir Silverheart, and make the bird really big. So chooses to go with a Hell Rider. And that,
What's that do?
Is going to
Oh, it looks like
ping
he...
Brian for 1, that Hell Rider, and then the next turn he'll be able to attack for lethal even through the Obliterator.
Yeah.
And Green Sun can pick up another Stranglergeist, giving him another hasty creature. Remember that Gravecrawler cannot block. Yeah. Now, Liliana. Not the best thing right now, but actually,
Plus
Liliana
one's it, huh? I mean, the problem with the -2 is that Dylan can just sacrifice
Stranglergeist and then break the bond between Stranglergeist and Wolfir Silverheart.
Correct.
And then that creates a world of things that can happen.
Right. This card's Galvanic Blast. Man, his hand must be amazing.
If he's discarding Galvanic Blast, wow.
Yeah, like, Brian's just gotta be dead. Ah, yes. Kessig Wolfrun. I think that will do it.
Yeah. I mean, only one removal spell can really come from Brian here, so Dylan... I don't think Dylan bothers with the Kessig Wolfrun. Oh. What's he doing here? Is that a Green Sun for 5? It is.
So he's gonna get another Silverheart? Pump up his birds?
Pump up the birds, Paradise.
And then 4 Hellrider points. 2 blockers. Yeah.
Yeah, seems lethal.
Very lethal. Birds for 4, Hellrider triggers for 4, and Stranglergeist is going to get in past the 2 blockers that Brian has.
Huh.
Or not.
Okay. Alright, instead chooses to go about it this way. Puts Brian down to 4 here. This Wolfir Silverhearts, man. These guys are big.
Yeah.
So big. 8/8s. Forces of nature.
Man, I remember when Force of Nature cost 1 more mana and required you to pay for every turn just to keep it around.
Yeah, Trample, man. That card was OP.
I mean, that Silverheart can have Trample too.
You just activate your Kessig Wolfrun.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Brian attacking with this team. I think you know,
That's sort
obviously
of desperation attack, right?
Yeah, obviously Dylan can't block the Obliterator, so he's going to be forced to take 5. But
and then another
he
2 from
just,
Messenger.
You know, yeah, at this point the game is completely over. Dylan can just swing in with everybody the next turn, and then he's going to be able to take it down. So
just a super kamikaze attack. Yep. Nothing.
And Brian packs it in the next game.
Brian just dead to the 4/5 birds, knows it, Yeah, and
Yeah.
the game could have gone even faster. Add 4 or 5 birds, be made right away.
Yeah.
Looking at these sideboards here, Dylan against the Zombies deck is going to have access to Garruk Primal Hunter. It's a pretty good one. Arc Trail, also a nice card.
3 Arc Trails, jeez.
Yeah, that's really good. Batterskull's pretty good here too.
You like Wolf Ear Adventure? Like the thing is, a lot of their stuff, like Diregraph Ghoul, Gravecrawler, is 2X's. So like you could just come down and eat their 1-drop, but I'm not sure if you want it against like their captains and messengers.
Yeah, and it's just
it does regenerate, which is sort of an upside.
Yeah, the regenerate though isn't as good as one might think because the removal the blue-black Zombies deck has is Tragic Slip and Geth Verdict, which both kill it anyway. That's true. And Liliana.
I think you might want to bring in a copy or 2 of Zell's Conscripts, stealing Obliterator. Obliterator is really the wall that Dylan is worried about. Like the Zombies decks previous to the new set would beat like green red aggro or ramp decks strictly on the back of Obliterator.
Yeah.
But
I remember at some point people got so frustrated that they started boarding in Rack with Madness just to like have Obliterator deal 5 to itself.
Yeah, and then
make them 5 permanents.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if we're going to get to. Given how Game 1 played, I would personally board in the Blood Artists and Killing Waves, just because like
I think you have to.
You're like, stalling out so much, and you're going to trade off a bunch, so that's going to come into play.
Yeah, I mean, if you want that against any deck, this is the deck you want that against.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how this goes here.
What do you board Porcelain Legionnaire in against? This?
The Mirror.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good. Porcelain Legionnaire is also really good against red-white humans.
Yeah. It doesn't strike me as a sideboard card, though. It's just like an honest 2-drop that you can cast.
You just play it in your main deck.
Yeah.
But I mean, also, like, having 2 Porcelain Legionnaires, like, he has a lot of cards that are just, like, really bad in some matchups where he might not have any cards to bring in.
Yeah.
So
he just
could
wants
be like,
to,
okay, well, against every matchup,
board
like,
in a reasonable dude.
Yeah, like I need 2 more sideboard cards for these 3 matchups where I need to take out, because I need to take out these 2 cards.
Right.
And
I need to up my threat
and
density.
there's no card that like punishes all 3 of these decks, so I can just
board in
side in
reasonable
Porcelain
cards.
Engineer. Yeah.
Okay.
And I like doing that a lot. Like normally when I'm creating a sideboard, I'm not putting the cards in like, oh, these are really good against this deck. I'm thinking to myself, okay, what cards in my main deck are bad against these people?
Right.
And then that's how many cards I need, and then
so
I need
many
to do all the math and
so many
figure
people
out how
build their
much-
sideboard before they like finish building their main deck, and it just never seems to work out.
You can't do that.
Yeah. It's a very common thing that you get, maybe 2/3 of the way done with building your deck, and you're like, okay, so for my sideboard, I'm going to like want flash freezes and negates and dissipates, and so you like already have your sideboard built, and then you get to the tournament, and you're like, oh, I didn't test that many games with my sideboard, and I have all these cards that are insane against control, and I just have these 10 cards main deck that are terrible against aggressive decks, and I have nothing to board in.
Exactly. And I think, you don't even need, like, testing's important, and obviously it helps, but as long as you've created your sideboard in a way where you know how many cards you need to take out in every matchup, and you have that many cards to bring in the according matchups, playtesting is whatever. You can go into a tournament blind. As long as you know, like, how to play your deck and what to bring in and what to take out. Playing it will just make you more comfortable.
Right. I agree. You also get less dogmatic with your sideboarding, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, when somebody's sitting there thinking while they're sideboarding,
yeah,
it's usually a bad thing.
They're going to make a wrong decision somewhere. It looks like Brian's going to 6, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, they might both just be shuffling right now.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so, Garruk Primal Hunter. It's one of those cards I wonder why it's not in more main decks.
Right, it's just so good.
Yeah.
This red-green aggro decks.
I mean, where do you not want Call of the Herd?
It's just so much
Every
better.
turn. And then when the board stalls, you just peel 4.
Or more.
Yeah.
You just draw a million cards.
You have Wolfear Silverheart, you peel 8.
Yeah, the Wolfear Silverheart card Primal Hunter is pretty good.
My 5-drop and my 5-drop go together very well.
You can play a deck with like 10 burn spells in it, and have like just mana guys, Primal Hunters, Zeniths. Well, you only have to play like 1 or 2 Wolfears. So you've seen it.
I don't know, because you just like always want to slam Wolfear on like turn 3, right? You just go like 1-drop, 1-drop.
Make my bird a 4/5.
Yeah.
Win.
Next turn, Garrick cashed it in for 8 cards.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
8 cards is so many.
That's a lot of cards, man.
That's like you did the opposite of mulliganing and then drew a card. Like you just drew a new hand.
Yeah, it's basically just
And-
Gristlebrand.
Yes. Basically. Pretty insane.
Yeah, I would love to watch that deck.
So have we been Gristlebranding with Necrotic Ooze yet? Has anybody been doing that?
No,
in
no, I
tournaments?
really want them to do it.
Good afternoon, Flight.
Alright, Pillar of Flame, dealing with that Gravecrawler pretty splendidly.
Yeah.
If you and a buddy
Pillar's a
want to
good
split
card.
8 packs of
I agree.
Sword, build 2 decks and play 4 rounds, come see me up here at the stage.
Another Gravecrawler from Brian. And Dylan, looking to have a hand with a good amount of land. It's one of the argued parts about when you're playing these green red aggro decks, keeping a 4-lander is usually pretty bad
Yeah.
because every land you draw after that is basically a dead card, because even though you can like cast Wolf or Silverheart and things like that, you have
still
birds and elves in your deck.
Yeah, you have 8 birds and elves. Ooh,
Ooh, an Arc Trail.
Arc
That's
Trail.
a pretty good one.
takes
It's gonna
care of
make
them.
up for those lands.
Yeah.
Brian
Dylan-
could just play an Obliterator here though and probably win on the spot.
That's very possible. It's also possible that his hand is like Blood Artist Killing Wave, and that he's just not in a good spot. Yeah, Mortar Pod, his best play on turn 4 with 1 card. If Dylan has anything coming down that costs 4 mana, then I think he's pretty set.
Oh, and okay, so I must have had that hand confused. He apparently only had a 3-lander and hasn't drawn lands, so it's pretty awesome
Yeah.
for him.
He does have at least a Birds of Paradise, probably more, in the way of mana production. Draws another Strangleroot Geist.
Yeah, I'm surprised he chose to play the Strangler guys last turn, and this turn opted
Yeah.
for a different route. It seemed like, if anything, it was like better to do it this turn now.
Yeah,
than
and so
was
it
to do
gets
last
shot
turn.
this turn, and he's going to cast Sword of War and Peace. Why would he keep that in?
I don't know. It's
That
not
is a
necessarily
card
the
that
best
I would
against
put
them.
on my shopping block.
All right, so a Diregraph Captain comes down and picks up that Mortar Pod.
I mean, it's a nice Volshock Morningstar, but it's not necessarily
Number 1, your event's about to begin. Please come see me
great
up here
card
at the
for your
stage.
deck.
Players in Legacy Winner Box number 1, please come see me up here at the stage.
Shoot it with Death Touch.
Yes. It has Death Touch.
Does it have Death Touch? Or
Does
does
the
it
Mortar Pod
give
do the
other...
Yes. All right.
Other zombies you
It
control
itself
get
has
Death Touch?
Death Touch, though.
Oh, it does, yeah.
Yeah. The other zombies don't gain the Death Touch.
Yeah, and Mortar Pod gives the equipped creature the ability to deal damage. So that point is a Death Touch point, as I thought.
Yeah. So Brian doesn't really have anything for his turn, but Dylan's going to have a Strangler Geist here. I'm going to be able to equip that Strangler Geist and send it into the red zone right away. Going to be a big problem for Brian. So hitting Brian for 4 plus the 2 cards in his hand, 6, putting him down to 12 here. Dylan going to gain 4 himself, going up to 21. All right, Brian seems to have drawn a little bit of action, but will it be enough? Blood Artist, not necessarily ideal here.
Yeah. Blood Artist, when he's just been attrition very effectively.
Yeah, that arc trail really just
Yeah.
took this game away from him.
The arc trail is kicking.
And so, also the Diagraph Captain, when it came down and picked up the Mortar Pod right away, it could have come down and returned a Diagraph Ghoul instead, or rather a Gravecrawler instead.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
Which probably would have been better.
Well, no.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
Black
yeah,
Sun's
'cause
unit, pretty strong.
Yeah, because
One was
they got
promoted, the
arc
other
trail.
one was-
Yeah.
All right, so this Strength Geist is going to come back. Brian's still in a really rough spot, even after being able to wipe the board.
Wipe the board is a bit of a misnomer. Really, what he did was battle growth his opponent's creature and kill a bird.
Yeah.
Black Sun's
I
unit's
mean,
not
you
quite the
have to.
impressive. Yeah, but it is frustrating to play against Undying when you're just peeling your card and you're like, oh, yep, nope, that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, Undying is pretty obnoxious mechanic to play against,
Yeah.
especially when you don't have guys on the table.
Right.
It's the best way to beat an Undying creature is just have bigger creatures.
Correct. Which is what Wizards
Sorg
has
is
been
picked up.
doing.
Yep, and coming in
for six total.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, card in hand plus 5 points of power.
And can Brian find a way out of this game?
Is that a Liliana? That's a land.
And it doesn't look like... I mean, at this point, I feel like he's just flooded and...
Yeah. He has drawn 5 spells all game, plus whatever this is, to 7 lands.
It may just be nothing. This may be a bluff. Unfortunately, a bluff is not very good when your opponent
Has you dead on board.
has you dead on board, yeah.
Well, not quite dead on board. He just has to have literally anything else.
Which I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
He missed the land drop.
This would be really awkward if this was Tragic Slip, right?
Yeah, I mean, it has a new Phyrexia mana symbol on it, so...
Oh, is it Guess Verdict? Or no?
I think it's Surgical Extraction, which I don't know why that's...
Why would you... Yeah,
People
okay.
board that card in way too much.
Yeah. So, the problem that I have with Surgical Extraction as a card is that clearly Brian has a plan here. He wants to kill Strangleroot and with its Undying trigger on the stack, Surgical Extract it. That is his game plan.
It's not a good game plan. Bad idea.
But let's talk about why it's not a good game plan. So it's not a good game plan because his opponent has like 20-ish creatures, and so Surgical costs an entire card.
Yeah,
so,
he's using 2 cards and presumably quite a bit of life to deal with a 2-mana creature of his opponent's.
Right.
And if his opponent doesn't have that 1 2-mana creature or doesn't have a draw that's largely dependent on that 2-mana creature, then he ends up with dead cards in hand.
Right. He never
And there it is.
has
So,
to
okay.
battle
So, at the end of the game there, Dylan, Brian didn't have anything, was just flooded. Dylan, with the Zealous Conscripts,
to attack for lethal.
Yeah, able to just attack for lethal. And we were just explaining how Surgical Extraction is a card that, you see it in a lot of people's sideboards,